The only solution to this dogmatic intransigence is an intervention or descent of the Absolute, called forth by the crisis of the exponential increase of information, transportation, population, and machine, with an enormous consequent effect on the environment. Recent scientific information states that by 2008, the effects of global warming, particularly on the ice caps, will actually begin to have an alarming effect on the weather patterns, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, in Europe, and in North America on the eastern coast, as well as on the rising of the oceans worldwide. We will be seeing a very serious situation as far as the present-day civilization is concerned. To the Earth, these changes are merely a process of cleansing and reorganizing. However, from the point of view of civilization that created global warming, these changes are a disaster. According to cosmic history, this catastrophe, generated by an exponential increase of information, both machine and human, it is the utmost ripple of the intervention of the Absolute before it fully breaks on the scene. This ripple manifests as extreme forms of behavior, human and noospheric, accompanying the intervention of the Absolute, intense forms of violence that is now spreading on the Earth, as the violence that take the form of suicide bombers on one side and technological armies on the other. The latter has every war machine imaginable: helicopters, rockets, radars, bombs, stealth fighter planes, drone planes, tanks, artillery, atomic bombs, everything needed to destroy the planet, fueled by an annual budget of $500 billion. These techno-armies move into different parts of the world for their own ideological reasons. Their presence is met by suicide bombers. From the Earth's point of view, this increase in violence signals that the Homo sapiens are no longer capable of dealing with their self-created socio-economical situation that is now out of control. This is why we emphatically repeat, we are in an evolutionary crisis. Homo sapiens have run out of creative inventiveness and are so immersed as a species in the spiritual implosion of self-created darkness. The positivists and the politicians talk as if this will go on forever. But this destructive civilization is all but over. The extreme external aspects are manifestations of the Absolute's intervention, now invisibly occurring. This is what we refer to as the intervention of the Absolute and the descent of the supramental. This can only come about, first, through the act of submission to a higher transcendental value or intelligent ordering principle in the universe. This supreme intelligence organized this all from the beginning. It is what gives meaning to the universe. The first act then is submitting, saying, replace the imperfection of my thinking and my perception of the universe with the perception of divine will, divine order, and the divine plan. This is the first stage. Paul Davies says, it is okay if we say that God has something to do with creating the Big Bang, but then what is God going to do afterwards? This is an example of an ignorant perception. God is only useful as a first cause and then deemed unnecessary. No, the divine principle is living, self-subsisting, and self-generating. In fact, we could say it is self-evolving. This is to get back to what we were saying earlier. If the universe and its entirety is the self-disclosure of God, and what is beyond the universe is the enlightenment God experiences from His self-disclosure, the disclosure itself is an evolving manifestation. Therefore, God itself or herself is also evolving in the imminent relative phase of what the universe is. In this self-evolution, self-disclosure of God, where we have gotten to this particular point, is that God is manifesting, yet again through the supramental descent. This means that because we are literally gotten out of our wits' end and hit these potential walls, we literally need something from beyond. The only place the current belief system or perception is going to is into its own black hole, the entropic implosion of the self-centered third-dimensional belief system. What is required is the supramental descent, The descent beyond mind. If the present-day bottleneck of knowledge and information is due to the relative perception that time, space, and mind are all functions of matter and energy, then the Absolute is an intervention of what is beyond time, space, matter, and energy, and that is supramental. Cosmic history says yes, there are leptons, quarks, and galaxies that you have discovered through your instruments that extend your senses. But there is a higher order and knowledge that you do not know about because you think consciousness is restricted to neural firings in the synapses of the Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens is just a little speck of an entity among tens of billions of galaxies and an infinite number of stars, here on this little planet where this particular creature called human, with a handful of positivist scientists, is creating a worldview that most of the humans are buying, at least the dominant world. Cosmic History Chronicles has arrived to give the larger perspective and perception from the cosmic point of view. In actuality, there exist many vast thinking levels and thinking layers. We could say that the thinking layer is sediment secreted from the infinite ocean of cosmic consciousness. Let us go up a little bit more and see if there is light in the higher thinking layers. Going up, we see that actually the processes of thought are functions of thinking layers that self-exist in the universe as function of the universal mind and consciousness. Observing the universe is one thing, but we see by penetrating beyond the observable universe that there are different levels of intelligible formations, which are all accompanied by thought forms, not necessarily perceptible to self-limiting attitudes and worldview.